Hello, everyone. This is TurkishSoccer.com's Turkish Football Podcast. My name is Ahmet Turgut. Welcome to a brand new edition of Turkish Football Podcast. In this podcast, we'll talk about what happened in the past weekend in the week 22, and we'll get into the European matches coming up starting today on Tuesday in the Champions League. The team that represents Turkey in the Champions League Galatasaray match will be happening today in Istanbul against Italian team Juventus. On Thursday, Fenerbahce will host Nottingham Forest, and in the Conference League, Samsunspor, who represents Turkey in the Conference League, will travel to North Macedonia to face Shekendija. So stay tuned for those. We'll talk about it, and let's get into what happened in the week 22 this past weekend. The week 22 started on Friday. It ended on Monday, and the gap on top is still same between Galatasaray and Fenerbahce. Galatasaray sits on top of Turkish Football Super League with 55 points. Fenerbahce with 52 points after Fenerbahce beating Trabzonspor in Trabzon. They're the only unbeaten team in the Turkish Super League after week 22, and they're in second place with 52 points. Now, Trabzonspor is a little further for the title race. I think, if you ask me, in the coming weeks, Trabzonspor is going to have a very tough time, very tough matches. I think the third place will be up for grabs between Göztepe and even Beşiktaş, who won their this past weekend match in the last minutes of the match. We're going to talk about that. So overall, this week 22, probably most goals scored weekend was 35 goals scored and a lot of goals. Like I said, Galatasaray beat Eyüpspor 5-1, and Icardi had a hat trick, and also Osman in his career, first time in his career, he had 2 assists in one match. He did not score, but I think that missed kick before Icardi scored that goal, he could have had that, but he miskicked that. So overall, Galatasaray against Eyüpspor, the relegation team Eyüpspor, as I told you in my last podcast, I predicted that they should win it easily. That's what happened, and they scored a lot of goals against Eyüpspor. Even though the match could have gone both ways in the first half, it was not show off before the Juventus match, because I think Juventus match, we're going to get to it, it will be a little harder than playing against Eyüpspor. And Trabzonspor, the match of the weekend was happening in Trabzon. As I said in my last podcast, Trabzonspor scored first, and Fenerbahce came back and beat Trabzonspor in Trabzon 3-2. So things are looking good for Fenerbahce. As I said, they're the only team who has not lost a match yet this season after week 22. Beşiktaş match, well, Beşiktaş with new transfers, even though they went down. First 2 goals were major mistakes by both teams' defense, and Beşiktaş was actually, it was tied 2-2 in the very last minute. The super sub who came in as a sub, Mustafa Hakimoğlu, scored a winning goal for Beşiktaş. Now, this put, because they played against Başakşehir, and if they would have won this match, I think Başakşehir was going to be a very close point-wise, because they're right behind Beşiktaş in the standings. Beşiktaş is in 5th place with 40 points after winning this match. Başakşehir they lost this match. They stayed at 33. They're in 6th place. So, as I said, the third place team, Trabzonspor, is in 3rd place with 45 points. Göztepe, another I think the first time Göztepe did not win at home. They did not lose it. It was 0-0 tie. And Göztepe with 41 points and Beşiktaş with 40. Now the gap between Trabzonspor and Beşiktaş, 5 points. That is why I said between the 3rd place and 5th place, it is going to be up for grabs for these teams to capture the 3rd place. Next weekend, Beşiktaş will be at home against Göztepe. So if Beşiktaş wins this match in week 23 on Sunday, Beşiktaş should have a good chance catching Trabzonspor, while Trabzonspor will play, I believe they will go to away match against Gaziantep. They will travel to Gaziantep. So we'll talk about those week 23 matches in the later on my podcast, but I want to talk mostly about the Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League matches coming up Tuesday, Thursday matches. So after week 22, the bottom of the barrel, the relegation zone and danger zone is on fire, as I said that before, and things are getting very, very hot in the bottom of the Turkish Super League. The 18th place team, Fatih Karagümrük, lost today against Kasımpaşa. Kasımpaşa won their first match under Emre Belezoğlu. Fatih Karagümrük with 12 points. Kayserispor with 16 points. Eyüpspor with 18 points. Kasımpaşa with 19 points. Konyaspor with 20 points. Rizespor with 21 points. Antalyaspor and Gençlerbirliği both have 23 points. These teams from the 18th place to 11th place teams are candidates for the relegation. The last 3 teams at the end of the season will go down to a lower division. Now, as far as what happened overnight in Samsun, they fired their coach, Thomas Rees, and one German coach left, and another German coach came into the scene. So, Thomas Rees was fired and overnight, and they signed today another German coach, Thorsten Fink. Also, Gençlerbirliği sacked Metin Diyadin after last weekend, and they hired today former Fatih Terim's assistant, Levent Şahin. He will be coaching Gençlerbirliği. Now, let's talk about what will happen today. Probably everyone is wondering in this playoff match between Galatasaray and Juventus in the playoff match in the Champions League. As you know, this is a two-legged match. They will play their first match in Istanbul today on Tuesday, and they will travel to Italy to face Juventus on February 25th on Tuesday. So it is very important for Galatasaray at home with the 12th man against Juventus. As you know, Turkish star Kenan Yıldız plays for Juventus, even though Juventus in their league match lost to Inter Milan in their last match. But this match will be probably different. But Galatasaray with all their stars, with Osimhen, I don't know if they're going to keep Osimhen and Icardi in the same lineup against Juventus. I probably thought so, but you never know. Okan Buruk could change this format. He did this format against Eyüpspor. He also did this first 11 against Kocaelispor. That was the game that they lost against Kocaelispor. So it is, the opponent is not Eyüpspor. Opponent is Juventus. And it could be benefit for having two goal scorers in the lineup, but I think most likely you want to capture the midfield better. Also have a good defense against Juventus, and with the 12th man on their side, Galatasaray has a pretty good chance beating Juventus in the first match at home in Istanbul tonight. Let's hope that Galatasaray has a good plan with Okan Buruk on the sideline, and for at least Galatasaray wins this match, because when you're playing at home, you want to win your home match, also your first match in the playoff. Because when you go to Italy, things could be different. You don't want to go for a tie, a draw. You want to win against Juventus in Istanbul. And pretty much, I think Osimhen, the goal scorer, and should have a good game. He's very hustle, very strong player in the air. And with the new additions, Lang coming in, makes a big difference on the wings. So we probably will see Barış Alper and Lang on each side of this match, and look for Osimhen being striker. Midfield, we will have a solid midfield. Sané, we heard he's all right. He's been practicing with the team. So we might see Sané in the lineup too. İlkay Gündoğan, all these big names that Galatasaray paid big bucks for it. I think they have to show their talent against Juventus tonight actually. Let's hope that Galatasaray gets a win. Good luck to Galatasaray tonight, on Tuesday. Now, on Thursday, there will be two Turkish teams will be playing, one in the Europa League, one in the Conference League, and Fenerbahce will host Nottingham Forest, English team. The Nottingham Forest fired their coach, and they hired the former Fenerbahce coach, Victor Pereira. So it will be his first match, and his first match will be against his former team, Fenerbahce. Fenerbahce has a very good players in the winter window transfer season. They transferred Conte. They have Asensio. They have Kerem Aktürkoğlu. Talisca is doing good, and they have also a good goalkeeper from Brazil. So again, Fenerbahce, who represents Turkey in the Europa League, should have a good score against Nottingham Forest. They need to win their home match. Also, the 12th man in this match will be a huge difference against Nottingham Forest. This match will be on February 19th on Thursday, and the second leg match will be happening in England February 26th on Thursday. Samsunspor, who overnight fired their coach, German coach, Thomas Rees. They hired a new German coach, Thorsten Fink. He will be coaching his first game in the with Samsunspor. This will be in the Conference League. They will travel to North Macedonia to face Şenkendija team, and the second leg match will be happening on February 26th. So we'll come back after these matches. We'll talk about preview the week 23 for you, and we'll talk about these three matches, the scores and results. You've been listening to TurkishSoccer.com's Turkish Football Podcast. My name is Ahmet Bob Turgut. Listen to my podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. Follow me at X at Turkish Soccer. Also, visit my page, follow my page, like my page on Facebook, Turkish Soccer, Turkish Football. Also, you can follow me on Instagram too, Turkish Soccer. Again, we'll talk to you after the European matches. Bye-bye.